Hi y'all, this is Tara from My Artsy Mind. I am back with, I decided to do a part 2 of week 3 January 2021 prompt for the mixed media, or the mixed media Emporium, because I had been wanting to do some large journaling tags, and I wanted to use up some of the scraps left over from making the pages of my journal, which I had used paper bags for, so these are the scraps left over from that. So I have some prototypes here. I used the scraps to make a little sketchbook, and that's what this is going to be, is a little sketchbook to go in my large book. And I used some watercolor paper I had gotten at the thrift store, an awesome little pack of watercolor postcards, and they were 50% off that day, so for 50 cents I got this whole little thing. So I'm using some of those. I use those for the cover because I want to do a painting, I think, on the front. But so there's that. And then I made a small journaling card with, let's see, believe it or not, I used a mac and cheese box, and I used a ramen noodle packet. So the image is from Artie Mays, and so if you listen, I don't know if you can hear that, I have the ramen noodle packet in between the two, and I've got the cardboard on the outside so that you can have a nice firm surface to journal, draw, paint, whatever. And then the other side is just pretty inspiration. It can still be decorated a little bit, but it's got this awesome feel, and I love the sound, love the texture. So I did a small journal card, and then I also did a very large, I guess I wouldn't call it a journal card, maybe it's an art card. And I used with that, I used part of a cereal box, and then for the squishy sounding feel, I used a piece of Amazon Prime packaging that's got what do you call those things? Bubble wrap. There you go. Bubble wrap packaging. So it's the same I actually did them two different ways, and I decided I liked the way I did it on this one better, so that's how we're going to do both of them. This one I had just sandwiched all the layers together, tacked it with a little bit of glue at the corners, and then stitched it. But the sewing machine creates a creep with the materials, and it almost puckered at one edge. This one I did a little different, and I wrapped the image around the packaging first, then glued it down to the cardboard, and then stitched it, and it didn't creep. So anyways, these are the three things we're going to make. And oh, I gotta stop banging on my table. I'll put those aside, and here we can start our packaging material. And then I'm gonna, like I said, bring in some more Artie Mays. And so this is another image from Artie Mays, and I absolutely love it. I think these images of these women are so inspiring, which is why I'm using them on the back of my journal cards. And then this is from the Nature's Remedy kit. It's just one of the leftover pieces that I want to use. So this was Artie Mays and Tracy Fox. And then this is a collage piece that I had laying around, but it has this wonderful colors in it that I thought went really well with my journal. So I'm going to make another little notebook, not the same shape as the other one. This is what's remaining. So I'm going to make a long, skinny, I guess maybe a bullet journal or something to make lists that's going to go inside my larger journal. So this will be probably where I keep, you know, either my process for a drawing or painting or a page layout, maybe the order of how I do things or supplies, maybe a little bit of everything. So we'll see how that goes. So I'd like to make the notebook first. Oop, let me get my timer started. I meant to start that in front of me so I could see. Trying to keep it, because this camera or phone will only record for a certain amount of time, and then it cuts out. So like I said, these are all the cutoffs from the pages that, and again, I'll remind you here, I used a lot of paper bags in here, but when I trimmed them down to size, I had all these leftover pieces that I did not want to waste. So, they're not all exactly the same width, but I think that's fine. I'm going to leave it like that. And the length is to be determined, I think, with, I haven't decided yet. So, let's just go ahead and start tearing down stuff. So I want, this is going to be my cover, my front and back cover. So I want it to be at least, let's see, let me get this lined up here. You can see okay? Yeah, alright. I'm going to line this up just so that I can see what I'm doing. Oh, and I collaged this on the back of a page out of a floral, what was it, encyclopedia. That's what it was. That I had gotten at a book sale. At a used book sale. So let's see. It's like that. So that's a little bit more. That's like 3 1/4. So maybe I'll do about 3 1/4. Maybe a little bit more than that. So I'm debating if I'm going to cut it or tear it. I think I'm going to go ahead and try tearing it. 3. Let's go about right there. It's not quite 1/4. It's not quite 1/2 either. Put it right on that line. Fingers crossed. This is kind of thick. Oh, there we go. That's not so bad. Excellent. Then I want 2 of those. So we'll do it again. No, I think I got a little crooked there. That's alright. I won't be using the whole length, so if it's a little narrow at the bottom, that's probably the spot that will end up getting cut off anyways. So, let's see. Oops. Line this up. Probably would have been better if I just went ahead and measured it, but I don't know why I'm so resistant to measuring. I know I'm not the only one, but that's alright. We still get the job done. Where am I going with that? That's that line, that's that line. There we go. Fingers crossed. Alrighty. Excellent. So I'll save that scrap for something else. And, oh, they're both pretty, but I think I'm going to keep the bird as the front cover. Excellent. Now I need to decide how tall I want. Oh, I did do that cricket, didn't I? Alright, let's see. How big do I want, or long do I want this thing to be? Oh, you know what? I think 6 inches is good. I think that's what I'll do. So, I'm going to line this up. It's pretty good. 6 right there. And I'm going to tear it just a tiny bit bigger than that. That way my pages can be 6 inches. I'll save these little pieces as well. Excellent. I don't mind that's a little rough. I like that. Okay, so I'm going to clean up the edges here. It looks like I didn't trim it all the way. There's that. And there's that. So I'm really digging these trash to treasure videos. I keep, the more I do, the more ideas I get. And I swear to God, I'm saving everything. I have no trash these days. I just have a pile of, I guess, organized, clean trash that's awaiting being upcycled. But that's all good. So at some point, I'm going to have to make a decision and start getting rid of some things. But until then, I'm going to enjoy myself. Alright, so, let's see. Well, I do need to cut these to size first, so let's do, keep tearing here. Let's do one at a time here. 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see. 3 and 3. Right, 3 and 3. There we go. So right at the 6 mark. Excellent. Cool. And some of these are pretty tattered, and I'm okay with that. I'm going to use masking tape to tape it together where it needs to be. I'm okay with that because it is supposed to be a junk journal. I wouldn't call it a junky junk journal because I am using a few digitals and things, but for the most part, the foundation of it is being made with recycled, repurposed packaging and things that would otherwise have gone in the trash. So I'm okay with that. I do have plans to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 do a true junky junk journal. I think it was Weeds and Wishes I've been watching, and she's been doing that, and it's actually been very inspiring. And at first I wasn't so sure I liked the idea because I just didn't think they were so pretty, you know, but now after watching some of her videos, and oops, I misplaced one of my, there it is, watching her videos, I swear now every time I empty a box or a bag or a container from my food stores or packaging, everything now that makes me think of, oh, I can use this for a pocket, or I can use it for this or that. So we will see. I'm gonna see how deep I get down, or how quickly I go down that rabbit hole. All right, so I think I will just stack them like this. Stack them from the widest to the narrowest. And then I'll go back through and tape them up as needed where I want to. There, kind of like that. Ah, that works. I like it. All right. So I'm going to be putting this together in the same fashion as I did this one, except I'll just use 2 holes to bind it, where I used a 3-hole pamphlet stitch on this one. But I did use a piece of grocery bag for the outside of the spine, and then on the inside of the spine I used some of that fabric tape that I've used before for that, because it's pretty strong. So first thing I'm going to do is, or the next thing I'm going to do is, let's do some of that fabric tape. The question is, where did I put it? Okay, I found it. I had to pause and go look because I forgot where I put it. Turns out it was sitting right behind me. So, okay. So the inside I'm using this. Just going to straighten this out and give it a little bit of a... Well, let's just do this first. Oh, come on. It's very sticky stuff. There we go. There, that's how I'll do it. And then fold it and make sure that it lines up fairly decent. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so let's trim it down. Trash bin a little closer. All right, and then for the outside, I'm going to use another piece of this paper. Find one that's not torn to shreds. Ah, here we go. That one will work. I like this dark color. Whoops. Tossing it all over the place. All right, the sleeves rolled up. Okay, so let's see. I got that side is torn. Let's see. Maybe about right there. I'll trim that down here when we're done. It's going to be the front. So So I'll use glue stick on this. Let's see, I'll move my book over a little bit. Am I on screen? Yes. Yeah, put this at least there. Okay. And glue this down. So this is my second video of the day. Having trouble sleeping, so I decided, you know what, I'm wide awake, I might as well do something productive. So I'm making the video tonight and upload it overnight. Not that it takes that long, but sometimes it, it really does take quite a while. Okay, so that is in there pretty solid. There, like that. Excellent. And trim again. Trim again. There we go. Good. So now a quick binding. Move that back out of the way. Make sure those stay there. I've got my needle. And here's the same embroidery thread that I used with the first one. I'm only going to do 2. You know, I might double this one up. Let's just see how that works out. Okay. Got my needle threaded. Okay. Oh, and then I need to get my hole puncher. This is my little dollar store screwdriver set. The smallest, which is a 1/16. Oh, is it? No, I don't know. What is the smallest? 3/32. I don't know. It's the smallest Phillips head of them, and it works great for punching the holes for binding. Since I don't have an actual pokey tool or an awl, this works just fine. So let's get this put together and make sure it's even. Some clips here to hold everything. Move it over just a little. There we go. Looks good there, looks good there. Okay. Got my center, that is my center. So I am going to clip this. Make sure that's down in there. And clip this side. There we go. So I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm going to do 2 holes. Ooh, that went right through quickly, didn't it? Nice. There we go. All done with that. And I am going to keep my string to the outside. Just going to go in and then back out. Keep it simple. And so this is just going to be a little list journal. And let's see if I can get this down tight enough. There we go. Excellent. I think I'll leave that. Alright. So, there we go. This will be And I will probably do a little more decorating to it, but for now, for the sake of trying to keep my video within a reasonable time frame, there is my little notebook, made with the leftover leftover paper bag and some old collage that I probably did this collage almost a year ago. I found a whole stack of these collage papers that I had in a file put away. Like, I need to pull them out and use them. So I'm glad I found them because, like I said, those colors are just so perfect. Alright, so that one's done. And let's see, I'll put that aside. So I think I'm going to do the little guy first. Let me find, oh, here we go, with the ramen noodle bag. And the image that I want is where? There we go. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is cut this guy. And I'm just going to use my little paper trimmer here just because I really want to make sure that it's nice and straight. There we go. And I have a really hard time eyeballing straight, especially when I have scissors in my hands. Alright, so the other thing is I want to kind of figure out the, let's see, can I see? Okay, I can kind of see through that, good. I want to figure out where I want this image, and I'm going to try to get it as centered as I can on the girl. There we go, I'm going to get these lines in here. So just kind of pre-fold in to give myself some guidelines. Because if you remember, what the plan is to wrap this around the ramen noodle bag and then tack it to my cardboard base here, my mac and cheese box. And then I will end up stitching everything and showing you how that looks. Oh, I just love this image. Love it. Okay. So, I am going to kind of pre-fold this a little bit just so that I can get it to the right size. And I'm not cutting the bag because I want to keep as much of the crinkly as possible. So, I'm just folding it down into place. And it's a little fiddly, but I don't mind. So, that like that. And if you really give it a good press, kind of keep that line in there. Okay, so there's that one. Go this direction. It's not much at all. Just a little bit. Let's see how that looks. It's a little shy, actually. Open that up. It really doesn't take much at all. And as you can tell, I love the spicy ramen noodle. It is my absolute favorite. I'll take a package of this and one of those small foil packets of tuna, the lemon pepper one, and I'll crush up the noodles, I'll make the soup, and then I'll put the ramen or the tuna in it. It's one of my absolute favorite meals. On really cold mornings, I'll eat it for breakfast just to warm up. It's so yummy. So yummy. Okay, so I'm thinking, let's double check. I didn't see the image. Yeah, I didn't see the image through the bag through the image last time, so I shouldn't do that now either. Okay, so I've already got my little lines marked here. I am going to just mark these corners because last time I did have a little trouble folding it at the corners and getting it in just the right spot. So the first thing I'm going to want to do is I'm gonna get my, I'm using Fabri-Tac, by the way, just to help tack this down. So I'm gonna put just a little, am I still, yeah, I'm still there. Okay, a little tiny dab right there. And I'm going to fold this corner down. It's not going to be perfect, it's not going to stick right away, but it will be enough to hold it all together. And it does give me a little time to make adjustments too, which I'm really thankful for, because it's so this is actually only the third time I've done this, and it's the third different way that I've done it. There we go. So let's double check before I do any more folding that the corners don't overlap the folds, and it doesn't, so yay, perfect. Okay, so then the next step is going to be folding these in. There we go. And I'll put just a little bit of glue here. Just a little there. Come on. Like I said, it's not going to stick perfect, but that's okay. As long as it holds enough so that once I get it to the sewing machine, it'll hold until I get it to the sewing, after the sewing machine. Then I'll be happy. So everybody being locked down in our area with COVID and so many people coming down with it, been extra cautious and staying home more. And I have signed up for Hulu, and I didn't realize how much, how many, what is it, sci-fi fantasy type shows, you know, like the Marvel shows that are on that. And I am a sucker for sci-fi fantasy, and I have been binge watching. What was it? I discovered, The Gifted and Cloak and Dagger. So I have been watching them and really enjoying it. Okay, here we go. So that's not too bad, although I'll probably use the glue again here. So let's just make sure that that's going to have good coverage, that fits the corners. Oops, scooch that up. Looks like we got it. And if I have to, I can always trim a little bit. I really don't want to, but I think we're good. So let's go ahead and add a little bit more glue just to help hold this in place. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put these together, and then I'll sew it real quick off camera and then come back and show you guys the finished product when it's all sewn. So again, I'm going to try to keep this within a 45-minute window, because that is what my camera will film for before it shuts down. So, oh, you hear that? I just love that sound. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to let that dry, and then we got enough time to go ahead and do my big journal card, or I guess my big, it's just an art canvas is what it's going to end up becoming. So I am going to go ahead and start cutting this down. Oop, I need it to be about the same size as this. So let's start, move you aside, here we go. Let's start with that. So let's get a measurement here. Oh, I do want to have nice even edges, so go from there to there. Let's do that first. I have to get my bigger paper trimmer out in order to do that. Let's take off the edges first. And try to get that as... I wonder if there's lines on this side. Ooh, you know what? There's at least some lines on this side. Let's start with that instead. So there. Ooh, that looks pretty decent. There we go. Save that strip for another project. And yes. Then, now that I know that edge is nice and straight, we can trim these guys. I can do the same here, because I know this is... Oops, sorry if I'm off a little bit from the camera. Okay, let's see how that turned out. Good. So I'm going to pause you. I got to go put some wood in the wood stove. Okay, I'm back. Alright, so let's finish this off. Alright, now let's quickly measure this. So if I have to trim the packaging down, I can do that, but so far I think I'm okay. And make a little mark right there. Okay, and line that up. Good. Excellent. Alright, so then save that for another project. Okay, we'll get this out of our way. Alright, so today I feel a little more confident with the crafting. I actually planned out my steps a little bit more this time around and made sure I had everything together that I wanted. It looks like for the most part that fits. I'm going to trim this one edge just a tiny bit here. There. Alright, so same idea. I'm going to take this page, and partly I chose these digitals because they are the extras after the projects that I did, but also because I thought they were very inspiring. I love the nature-y theme, and they're just so pretty, so pretty. Okay, so this, I'm going to do a similar thing, and I am going to wrap this around my paper, or my cardboard, just so that I have those edges. And this one doesn't have a focal image, so as long as I get it within the boundaries, I'm happy. And the cool thing is I don't have to trim off the white border, because I honestly hate doing that. I feel like it's such a waste of paper. Oops, let's see, are you tucked in there? There we go. So now it'll be useful because it'll help hold my Amazon packaging in place. So I'm going to do the same thing and mark these little corners. It's just easier for me once I get doing this, and maybe I'll even pre-fold slightly. Okay, so here we go. Fingers crossed. Do it this direction. I think what I'm going to also do is just put a little glue on each corner Just a dab. Come on, don't be grumpy. You're just glue. There we go. And then I'll put that down. Oops. Inside my square. Looks good. Okay. Then I will hit those corners again. Whew, I'm running out of time. Alright, I'm still filming, so right now I'm good. Let's hit all 4 of those quickly. Oh, didn't quite hit the mark on that one. That's alright. Okay. And real quick, there we go, go this way. Just a little scribble here and there. We'll do these little edges first. I think they're gonna give me the most trouble. They're so tiny. Okay, there's that. I think I got some leeway time, so I'll have to probably go back and press it down again. But let's see. Let's just see how it goes. Oh, there we go. So that was almost not lined up. Follow the previous little folds. Okay, that's not so bad. Yay. Okay. Yeah, look at that Fabri-Tac changing the color there. Oh, look at that. Love it. Love it. Alright. So, let's make sure this lines up. It looks like it does. Fabulous. So, here we go again. Stick a few in the dots in the center. Alright. And here we go. Get this glued down. Excellent. I'm still filming. Fantastic. Alright, so I am going to, off camera real quick, stitch these down with a sewing machine, and then I will be right back. Oops, sorry about shaking the table. I'll be right back, guys. Okay, guys, here we are. Alright, so I got the sewing done, and so these are the finished products. So this was the first one I made off camera, the little sketchbook made with paper bags and some real inexpensive secondhand watercolor. This is the one we made together with an old collage sheet of mine, more paper bag, and then here's the 2 little smaller journaling cards. So here's the one I made off camera, and here's the one I made on camera. Oh, I just love them. Love it. And then here are my 2 large art journal cards. So this is the one I made off camera, and it's actually a little more, I think, crinkly even than this one, and I think that's because, I don't know if you can see, it's got more loft, is because it did creep a little bit as I was sewing. But you know what? That's okay. And then here's the one we made together, minus the stitching part. So these journal cards, most likely, I'm going to be gessoing them before I use them. Definitely the larger ones, but we'll see about these. I'm still unsure. But anyways, these are done, and they are ready for my journal. Alright. Oh, God, I keep doing that. I keep shaking the table. I don't know why I do that, but anyways, you guys have a lovely evening, and I will see you next time around. Bye!